She could not control how others chose to tell her story, so she stepped away in order to reclaim privacy and shape her own narrative. But as January 2026 began, online spaces erupted into chaos when a new set of yacht photographs surfaced, images that Meghan Markle was widely believed to have assumed would never become public. These were not recycled clips or blurry screenshots debated for years. They were sharp, previously unseen images that appeared suddenly and spread at lightning speed, sending social media into overdrive. What made the reaction so intense was what the photos seemed to show. Meghan appeared in extremely exclusive, private settings that she has never publicly discussed or explained. Almost immediately, voices connected to Middle Eastern high society circles began speaking more openly, claiming the images aligned with what had quietly been known for years about her pre-royal networking life. The sudden resurfacing of this material shifted attention back to a chapter of her past that had largely remained untouched. For many observers, this context helped explain long-standing tensions surrounding her marriage and public image. According to multiple individuals tied to elite circles in the Gulf region, Meghan was not merely attending casual social events. They claim she was intentionally building relationships in Monaco and across the Mediterranean, operating within spaces reserved for significant wealth and influence. These were not open gatherings, nor were they spontaneous trips. The images show her attending private yacht events alongside highly influential figures from Saudi Arabia and other wealthy nations, suggesting structured access rather than coincidence. What stood out just as much as the images themselves was how quiet these connections had remained in public discussion until now. The timing of the leak raised eyebrows everywhere. At the very moment Meghan was promoting a carefully polished rebrand through Netflix projects and lifestyle ventures, this material resurfaced. The implication was clear to many observers. Someone wanted her past brought back into focus, challenging the image currently being presented. As the photos circulated, speculation grew rapidly about who might have released them and why. The images appeared to originate from private collections, not public archives, and once they surfaced, there was no way to slow their spread. The photographs showed Meghan in Monaco and other Mediterranean hotspots during her pre-royal years, surrounded by extreme luxury, private yachts, high-end fashion, and environments typically associated with international power brokers. Faces in the background were recognized almost immediately by those familiar with global business and political circles. Online reaction intensified within hours. New hashtags trended, creators dissected the images frame by frame, and long-standing rumors were revisited with renewed intensity. Unlike previous debates, these photos offered clarity. They placed Meghan in environments she had never publicly acknowledged, raising focused discussion about access, lifestyle, and influence. The narrative shifted from vague speculation to documented presence. According to sources familiar with elite international networking environments, these circles operate through discretion and careful relationship building. Entry is facilitated through introductions, trust, and perceived value. Those same sources claim Meghan fit the profile during her early career years. Ambitious, relatively unknown, and increasingly present in spaces far beyond what her reported income would normally allow. Access of that level, they argue, does not happen without facilitation. What drew further attention was the claim that the images did not come from outsiders but from someone within those elite circles. Someone with first-hand access who chose to speak after years of silence. If accurate, that detail significantly altered public perception, suggesting that these photos were not accidental leaks but deliberate releases by someone who knew exactly when and how to make an impact. The images reportedly date between 2008 and 2012, overlapping with a period when Meghan was described publicly as a struggling actress. Yet the locations and settings shown, luxury yachts in Monaco and Mediterranean ports, are well known for hosting billionaires and international decision-makers. Observers noted that this same period preceded major career shifts, including her casting on Suits, which some industry voices have long suggested involved unexplained connections. By the time she met Prince Harry in 2016 through Soho House circles, she had already spent years navigating elite environments. The leaked images reinforced the idea that she was familiar with high-power social spaces long before joining the royal family. The consistency of the settings across multiple years suggested pattern rather than chance. What troubled many commentators most was the timing. These photos surfaced precisely when Meghan's public image relied heavily on authenticity and relatability. The contrast between that narrative and the elite environments shown in the images created tension that has not yet been addressed directly. Her team has issued no detailed explanation, no contextual clarification, and no public response outlining how or why those connections existed. That silence has been widely interpreted as significant. In situations where images are easily explained, rapid clarification usually follows. Instead, the lack of response allowed discussion to expand, with attention turning toward the question of who funded the travel, who facilitated the access, and how those relationships influenced later opportunities. International observers also noted that elite Middle Eastern circles rarely allow past associations to surface publicly unless something changes internally. Discretion is typically absolute. The fact that these images emerged at all suggested to many that a protective barrier had been removed. Whether due to personal disagreements, reputational risk, or simple fatigue with public storytelling, someone chose not to remain silent anymore. Many now believe these images may represent only the beginning. Those who released them may be testing public reaction before deciding whether additional material should surface. That possibility alone has intensified scrutiny, as it implies that Meghan's past narrative could face further challenges. Present, the situation remains unresolved. The images continue circulating, discussions continue expanding, and her silence continues to shape perception. The resurfacing of this chapter has complicated efforts to move beyond controversy, reinforcing the idea that carefully constructed narratives can always be revisited when new evidence appears. What remains clear is that once private material enters public view, control over interpretation is lost. These newly released yacht photos have reopened a conversation that many believed was settled. And you,